A new twist to tell you about tonight in the 1991 yogurt shop killings where 4 teenage girls were found brutally murdered. 2 men were convicted in the case but later released from prison for lack of evidence. Now, one of the men, Robert Springsteen, wants $700,000 for 9 years he served in prison. Before he went to breaking news, KXAN's David Scott looked at Springsteen's move to clear his name.
The 4 girls were looking forward to a sleepover that Friday night after they closed up the shop. But then death walked in the door. After the shop fire was extinguished, their bound bodies were found stacked upon one another. Austin was shocked. A makeshift memorial grew here. Robert Springsteen and Michael Scott were eventually convicted of the crime, but Scott was released in 2007, Springsteen in 2009 for lack of evidence. Prosecutors wanted to try them again, but feared the evidence on hand might not be enough, and they would be free forever because of double jeopardy.
I believe it would be imprudent and, in fact, unfair to proceed to trial at this time. It would be unfair to the jury hearing the case, unfair to our community, and most of all, unfair to the victims of these devastating crimes and their families.
Now, Robert Springsteen is seeking $700,000 compensation for the time served, but he will have to prove his actual innocence in the case to collect. The prosecutor's office informed KXAN late today that because it's not a party to the lawsuit, it will have no comment. During talk of a retrial, Springsteen's lawyer argued, where was the evidence?
Do I know they're innocent? Absolutely not. I'm not God. I don't like being wrong. But by God, I believe there's evidence out there that can tell us who's right and who's wrong.
One problem: the shop blaze and ensuing firefighters' water may have obliterated the evidence. On the 20th anniversary of the murders, the mother of one of the victims remembered.
They made everyone else feel better that was around them, and they cared about people. And I think the city would have enjoyed having them here, you know, working and raising their own children and making a difference in this community.
David Scott reporting there. Now, you may be wondering where the $700,000 figure comes from. Going in depth on this, according to state law, a wrongfully convicted person is entitled to $80,000 for each year he or she spent in prison. Springsteen served just over 8 years in prison. Compensation is also awarded for things like child support payments, tuition at universities, and health care plans.